Hey, it's Nutricity. Welcome to my Matrix. Does anyone know anything about dream analysis? I have a question about this dream. This was a weird dream I had about maybe 3 weeks ago. And I am usually a lucid dreamer. Like, I can be dreaming and asleep, and somehow I will wake up and I will know that I am in a dream. And sometimes I can actually influence the dream. But my mind is awake, so I know I'm having a dream and all these things are going on, and I can like watch it like a movie. So in this dream, and I'm going to have dinner too. Now, this is kind of a thrown together dinner. I went to Whole Foods and just kind of threw things in the basket because that's what happens. And it's kind of a Mediterranean style dinner. I've got some marinated mushrooms. I can see that. Marinated mushrooms and some, I think it's feta or either goat cheese, little cubes, and some marinated olives and olive oil, and also some grape leaves. You know, you can't miss out on avoiding a good grape leaf. These are the best. And also, they had some sort of frozen lobster tail there that was on sale. And I'd never had it before, but I thought I would try it. So it's a mini lobster tail. So this is like my Mediterranean kind of seafood dinner. So in this dream, I was just dreaming at first, and then at one point I then became aware that I was awake and dreaming. So in the dream, I am sitting in like a chair, sleeping. And at this time, I think I kind of like woke up because I could see myself sleeping in the chair. And then my father, who died in 2006, came to me in the dream. And he was smiling and happy, and he looked transformed, like his body was transformed. You know, when he passed away, he was in his 70s. So he looked like he was a young man now, like in his 30s maybe. And he had on the typical plaid shirt he normally wears and khaki pants, but he was all smiles. And so we were in a place where it seemed like it was out west. It wasn't the coast where we are now. Seems like it was out west because it was very dry and arid, and it seems like there was lots of deserts and scrub around, and there were lots of cliffs. So there was like mountainous regions. So I was thinking someplace like Arizona, Colorado, something like that. That comes to mind. So we're in this place. I'm gonna eat something here first. Some olives and some cheese. Mushroom. And here goes a bite of my fig leaf. Not a fig, yeah, grape leaf. Very good. And let's just have some water. Nothing like ice water. Okay, so we're in this kind of dry, arid city place, and we're outside. It's not the city, we're like outside in the hills, the cliffs, whatever. Well, next thing you know, my father has a convertible, and suddenly we're driving in this convertible, he and I, and it's like steep, you know, like almost like hairpin turns, going through this kind of hilly, dry region. And I'm like, where are we going? What are we doing? And he's just looking at me and smiling, and looking at me and smiling. He doesn't say much. He's just looking at me and smiling. And then I noticed that we're getting higher on the cliff. And on the other side of the cliff, there's actually water or ocean or a lake. And then I was thinking, maybe we're in California. But it was ocean. Okay, so back, we got ocean on one side, and all of a sudden, we get to kind of like a clearing, like the road kind of ends. And on the left side, where there's all the tumbleweeds and the cliffs area, it's like an open square patch of land. So my father takes the convertible and backs it into that big square of open land. And in front of us is the cliff. The cliff. and the ocean at the bottom. So all of a sudden, I'm thinking, what are we doing? And I ask him, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? He doesn't say a word to me. He just looks at me. And then all of a sudden, he revs up the car. The car revs up and I get really alarmed. And I thought, what are we doing? So then he starts revving the car up and we start driving really fast toward the edge of the cliff. But before we get to the edge of the cliff, I jump out of the car and I thought, what in the world? So I jump out of the car and then my father goes over the cliff in the convertible. He goes over the cliff. And I remember looking down and the car is just tumbling. And it's way, way down because we're high up in the mountains. And the water, even though it's ocean, it's crystal clear. You can see all the way to the bottom and it's like, must be 50 to 100 feet deep, but it's crystal clear. And you can see the waves coming in right at the shore and there's sand there at the bottom. So the car finally hits the water and I can see my father still like in the driver's seat and his head is all the way back. The car is fully submerged and his head is back. And I see him moving, like struggling, like he has air and he's drowning. And I thought, that's impossible because he's already deceased. So what does that mean? What does it mean when your parent comes back to you in a dream and they're taking you on a car ride and they try to take you over a cliff, to like unalive you in a dream? I don't know. It's weird. What does that mean? Or does it mean anything? Or maybe I ate some crazy things during dinner and that was the end result of that dream. But when I woke up from that dream, I was really, inside I felt some kind of way, that it was really weird. And why was I having a dream like that? And why would my father come back to me in a dream and try to drive me over the edge of a cliff? Does it have any meaning in the dream world? So if you know anything about dream analysis, let me know. Put your comments in there because I don't know. I have lots of weird dreams and some of them are really crazy. But I want to find out about this one. Does this really mean anything? What does it mean when your parent comes back to you and wants to drive you over a cliff? And once I saw him at the bottom of the cliff, I just woke up. And when I say I woke up in real life. When I was saying I was woke before, I was still sleeping. But my mind woke up and I knew I was dreaming. So I was not awake before when I said I was awake. I was still physically sleeping, but my mind was awake. And I knew I was having a dream and I was in the dream. So that's really weird. Does anybody else have that same experience when it comes to dreams? It's the weirdest thing. It doesn't make for a restful night when you are dreaming, but your mind's totally awake and you know you're having a dream and you're watching this dream like you're in a movie. It's not restful. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye. Let's have some more of this food.